Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Blanco the Slime, and today we have a video on the Salvage Yard and its recent buffs that, in my opinion, made it a top-tier business and definitely one of the best businesses to buy in Grand Theft Auto Online. This is a weekly series I'm going to be doing moving forward. This is episode 2 of the series. Last week we covered the agency. This week we're going to be covering the Salvage Yard and its new changes. We're going to go over the best locations to purchase one, how much money you can make with this business, and of course just the ins and outs of the business as a whole and the best way to run it the most efficiently and just best way possible, right? But before we get into the video, I need you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. It takes 1 second of your time. It helps the video and channel grow in the YouTube algorithm, and I do appreciate it tremendously. Hit that bell notification because I do upload consistently, and you do not want to miss a single upload. And let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So let's begin with the basics, right? The locations for the Salvage Yard, you have 3 of them in Los Santos. You have La Puerta, Strawberry, and then Marietta Heights. And then we have 2 up here in Blaine County, which I would highly suggest avoiding due to the fact that the robbery missions, all the, vehicle robberies, the missions for them are usually located in Los Santos. So doing them would be a pain in the neck if you're located all the way up in Blaine County. And most of the time you have to return to the Salvage Yard, so you'd have to go all the way back. Just avoid it, man. Out of the 3 in Los Santos, I would avoid La Puerta because there is a gang fight nearby, those little red circles on the map. So you don't want to get into one of those every time you want to enter your business. So I would suggest the Strawberry or the Marietta Heights location. I do own the Marietta Heights, but I will go to the Strawberry location just so we can look at all the upgrades. So of course you have your tint. This just changes the color of the inside of the Salvage Yard, like the little lines on the floor. It's just cosmetic. I would suggest just going with the regular one unless you have a ton of money to spend. The trade rates, this is a little interesting. So the trade rates cost $450,000, and it basically gives you a 50% discount on repairs at LS Customs, then also Moore's Mutual Insurance claims. So I mean, I got it when I bought mine, but that's because I had a crap ton of money. But I would say you could avoid it. And now moving into one of the most important things about this business, it is the tow truck. This is how you're going to make passive income with this business, and I will get into that a little bit later. But for the tow truck itself, you have the regular tow truck and then the tow truck beater, which does go a little bit slower. So if you have the money, I'd say go for the regular tow truck. If you don't, I'd say just go for the beater. The speed difference is not that much of a difference. And then also the staff, you definitely want to get the staff. So the tow truck and the staff are the must buys for this business, I would say for sure. The wall safe, you can get it. The regular safe, you're only allowed to store 100K. If you buy the wall safe upgrade, you will be able to have up to 250K. But if you're going to be stopping by frequently, it's not that big of a deal. Unless you're just rolling in the dough, then just get all the upgrades. But the staff and the tow truck, I would say, are must-haves for this business, because that is how you make passive income with this business. So fully upgraded, this business will cost $5.5 million. It's definitely a bit pricey, but if you only get the staff upgrade and the cheapest tow truck possible, you can obtain this business for about $3.5 million, which is actually a pretty good price for all that it offers, which we are going to get into now. So we're going to move into one of the first ways to make money with this business, and that's going to be with the tow truck, which I just mentioned that you definitely should purchase. And the reason being is because you will make awesome passive income with the tow truck, but it also ties in with the safe. All right, so we're going to get into that a little bit later. I don't want to confuse you guys, right? So we're going to start off with the tow truck jobs themselves. As you can see, this one that I just started is about 3 miles away. They range anywhere from half a mile to about 3 to 4 miles, sometimes 5 miles. If it's 5 miles, you could just rejoin a new session, restart at your Salvage Yard, restart the tow truck job, and get one a little bit closer. But 90% of the time, they're usually 2 miles or less, and you could just bang them out within 3 minutes. They're very easy. You pretty much just drive to the location of the vehicle, you hook it onto the, the tow hook, and then you drive it back to your Salvage Yard. Sometimes the cops will get on your tail and you just have to lose them real quick, which I personally suggest just calling in an oppressor or a helicopter if you have one, flying really high in the sky until you lose the wanted level, and then just landing back down wherever the car is located and just finish bringing it back to your Salvage Yard, because obviously losing the cops in this big tow truck is not going to be too fun, right? But anyway, the tow jobs will essentially pay you anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 per vehicle that you tow, and this is where the staff upgrade that I mentioned also comes into hand, because the staff upgrade will actually salvage the vehicles that you tow twice as fast. So we're going to cover that in just a little bit more detail. But like I said, these tow jobs, they are a big part of the passive income, and they work similar to the nightclub safe, where you have to do the popularity and you got to keep your popularity up at 100. But the tow job works a little bit different. So with the tow jobs, as long as you do 2 tow jobs every 24 hours, your popularity is technically at 100, and you will get $24,000 in your wall safe every 48 minutes, and that's the absolute max. You can't get more than $24,000 every in-game day, which is 48 minutes. You cannot get more than $24,000. So I would say just do 2 tow jobs every 24 hours and you're good to go. And the best thing about this is you will make the money for the actual towed vehicles even if you're not online. So you could do the 2 tow jobs and just sign off, and when you sign back on in 48 minutes, the money will actually be in your bank account. And as you can see, we have 2 spaces here on like our car lifts where our staff will dismantle the parts. And like I said, within 48 minutes, each car will net you $30,000 to $40,000. And then, like I said, the wall safe will produce you $24,000 every 48 minutes. So essentially, if you do 2 tow jobs plus the wall safe, you're pretty much making, at most $104,000 in just 48 minutes passively. And then moving forward after that, you can continue doing it. And both tow jobs should only take you about 10 minutes. Now, common sense, the wall safe is going to be in your office upstairs. Again, similar to the nightclub, you just hit the, interaction button to open the safe, and you collect your money from inside. And like I said earlier, with the renovations and upgrades for the business, you don't have to buy the wall safe because the default one will allow you to hold $100,000. So as long as you're frequently stopping by, it won't ever fill up to $250,000 anyway. So you can save a little bit of money there without purchasing the wall safe. Okay, so now that we covered the wall safe and the tow truck jobs, which is the 2 forms of passive income for this business, we can now move into the last way to make money with this business, and that is with the vehicle robberies. There are 3 of them every single week. There are multiple different robberies. You got the submarine robbery, the cargo ship robbery, the gangland robbery, and then of course the casino robbery. I personally enjoy the casino one the most. And of course, with these robberies, there were recent changes made by Rockstar where we are allowed to keep these cars for basically free. And I'm going to get into that in a bit. Now, here's where the discourse comes and a little bit of disagreement whether or not this business is top tier. Some people, are upset because they were saving cars just like I was. As you can see, my 4 spots are now empty. I did have them filled with cars that I did plan on saving for when they drop this update and change. Unfortunately, the change only allows us to save the cars moving forward, meaning any cars you saved previous to this update that you were looking forward to keeping, you will not be able to. It's only moving forward. So that's a little bit of a bummer. You can go ahead and sell all your vehicles just like I did. It was a heartbreaking moment, but the change is still really, really, really good. And I'm going to get into that now on why it's awesome and how the cars are practically free. And of course, the best way that you want to go about it to be able to, hold on to these cars moving forward. So as I mentioned before, there are 3 vehicles every single week that rotate. So it's going to be a new 3 every single week. Now, the one that you can keep is going to be the one with this red and white garage symbol. So this week it is the Pfister Comet S2 Cabrio, which is actually a really, really dope car. I think it's worth almost $2 million, and you get to keep it for $20,000. $10,000 if you have a document forgery office, but I would not suggest that. And I will get into the math on that later, but I would definitely suggest just paying the $20,000, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But like I said, man, every week Rockstar will have one of these cars that we can keep, and this week it is the Pfister Comet Cabrio. I definitely suggest going to get it because $20,000 for a $2 million car is crazy. It's practically free. Now, to start up any one of these vehicle robberies, it is going to cost $20,000. And now, just to briefly go over the missions, you are going to have 2 primary setup missions. One of them will be optional, as you can see there all the way to the right. It's optional. I wouldn't suggest doing it. It's kind of a waste of time. These vehicle robberies / heists are actually very easy and fast. Just don't even do the optional stuff. And as you can see on the top right for the tasks, we have 2 ones that we have to do, then another one that's optional. Again, I would not suggest doing any of the optional optional ones. Just save yourself the time. They're easy enough that you don't need the extra benefit of the optional missions, right? Now, really quick, I did want to show a quick tip on these finales. When you do steal the cars, you can see we have the Fister Comet Cabrio. You can call in your oppressor or helicopter in these finales. Now, I did almost die here, but like I said, you can actually lose the police by just getting on your oppressor or hopping in a helicopter. I decided to just fly really high up in the sky right over this water until my wanted level was gone, and then you could just go back to the car and peacefully drive it to your salvage yard and complete the finale and claim, you know, the beautiful vehicle that we want. So I did want to just throw this little tip in here. You can actually call in a personal vehicle during these heists/robberies. So if you have an oppressor, if you have an oppressor or a Sparrow helicopter, I would definitely suggest calling it in. You could lose the wanted level much faster than actually driving away from them in the car, because the police just seem to be on steroids lately, right? So now that we did collect the Fister Comet S2 Cabrio, you can see it's in our garage. All you got to do is walk up to the vehicle and interact with it, and then you will have the option to sell it for basically $400,000. You could salvage it for parts, or you can now claim it. The claim option was not there before this update. Again, this is the new feature. They added a huge buff to the salvage yard. You get a $2 million vehicle for $20,000. So if you like the car, I wouldn't suggest selling it. If you own it or don't like it much, obviously sell it, get the $400,000. You never want to salvage it for parts. It's pretty pointless. But if you like the car, like I like the Fister Comet Cabrio, you can claim it for $20,000, which is basically free. I know in the thumbnail I have the free thing, and people are going to say I clickbaited. Oh my God, I had to pay $20,000. Blanco said it was free. He lied. Come on, man. $20,000 for a $2 million vehicle is essentially free. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. So anyway, you can have it personally delivered to any one of your garages, and that's pretty much the new buff, man. So I did want to cover why it's not worth it to get, you know, the document forgery office, because it does make the vehicle only cost $10,000 instead of $20,000. But as you can see, the cheapest document forgery office is $650,000. So I mean, by the time you make your money back on that $10,000 discount, you'd have to buy, 65 vehicles. And just to kind of go further into some math, 65 vehicles at one vehicle a week, because remember, you could only claim one a week. That's 65 weeks before you even see, the money back that you paid for the document forgery office. 65 weeks from now, GTA 6 is going to be out. So, I mean, there's really no point in getting the document forgery office. But anyway, that pretty much wraps us up. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it made you see why the salvage yard is top tier. We could get exotic, $1 million cars for freaking $20,000, man. Plus the passive income. It's an absolutely amazing business. I think this update and buff really spearheaded it towards the top of the tier list. If you guys enjoyed the video, of course, hit that like and subscribe button. Join the Slime Squad. It only takes 1 second of your time, and I do make consistent GTA content, so you want to make sure to hit that bell notification. And until the next video, peace out, boys.